will go. There's usually overlap. We might even be live now. Oh, there it is. Ah, hello, Earth. Bias Bros. Welcome to another Thursday. And welcome to Bias Bro, I guess, today. And as everyone knows, this is a very serious show about very serious topics. It's like fucking Dateline in this bitch. And with me today, special guest. My brother Jay could not make it. So I got, Cuero Culero, Colin. I'm just gonna go with Colin. I'm not gonna give your last name, because fuck you. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't put it on there. That's fine. Yeah.
I think
Hi.
I do always fuck up your last name, though, and I think it's because I watch too many cartoons. Is it Rigby or Rigsby?
It's Rigsby.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, and it is like the cartoon. I'm a fucking Cal Arts cartoon fan. Do you ever watch Regular Show?
I've seen it before. I don't like watch it, but I've seen a few episodes.
That was one of the ones I really had to, like, try to get into it. It was one of those things like everybody swears this is good. You know what? I'll put it on in the background. And it became one of those things where like it was on in the background and I was like, yeah, whatever, playing my Switch or fucking playing Marvel Puzzle Quest, eating whatever. And then by the time I was like probably like a season or two in, I just found little things they were saying were just grabbing my attention so much as I was like, oh wait, this is like a casual reference to like an obscure thing a season or two ago, and then the plot lines stop being like random adventures and like 10-year-old guy cartoon and start getting like kind of life real.
Yeah. Is it made by the same people who made Adventure Time or no?
One of the writers from Adventure Time spun out and got his own show. And so,
There you go.
it's not like the original creator, but it was one of the head writers kind of came out and did that. And so, it does.
Yeah.
It has that very same kind of like, we're growing with our audience, so fucking
Yep.
buckle up. And I will still stand by this statement today. That is the best series finale I have ever seen in my entire life. The
Regular
regular
show?
show series finale is mind-blowingly on point. It's
Damn.
not even just that, like, it's the best writing ever. It's just that they knew how to take their show and land the ship. They knew what
Damn.
you wanted by the end of it. Incredible.
Okay. Maybe I'll give it a watch. I've only seen probably like 5 or 6 episodes, maybe.
And it's
I don't know.
not the kind of thing you can watch disjointed and get into
Yeah.
it. I don't think. At least for me, there's no way
I
that
enjoyed it.
random episodes would pull me in to watch it all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was entertaining. It was funny. I like cartoons like that, which are, a bit more like they sneak in the adult humor and like the nostalgia humor for like, 80s and 90s, references and stuff
they
like that.
very heavily pull on 80s and 90s
Yeah.
references in Regular Show.
Which I like that. But no, I didn't gotten far enough into it where it starts getting serious. Like same thing with Adventure Time. Like I've only seen a few episodes of Adventure Time, like when things started getting serious.
You're doing
And
yourself a disservice on that
I
one.
I know. That's what everybody keeps telling me. I've seen a lot of it, and
You've
seen
even got kids who are like right at that age where you can start getting into Regular Show and Adventure Time with them.
I know. I wanna get into Adventure Time with Mira. Maybe I'll put that on the short list. I think Noah could probably even watch it. It's not like too violent necessarily. Where
No,
I think
and the violence I think is done
cartoony enough,
goofy enough, where
Yeah.
it's really approachable though. And I know everybody is so sick, both in the D&D group, in my family, and on these streams, are so tired of hearing me talk about Steven Universe. But fuck me, I cannot stress enough. Honestly, especially with the age
now that I
bracket
have not
your
watched
kids
it
are in,
all. So
with the age bracket your kids are in, that shit is going to teach them life lessons that they're going to carry through their whole life, and it's life lessons you want your kids to learn.
nice. That's what Clifton has also kind of been telling me about that. He's like, and he also told me about Shira, and my daughter got really into
I haven't done that
Shira.
one yet. I need to.
It's good. It's definitely got like the teen tween kind of like drama feel to it a lot, but it's also like it's just really well written to the point where it's modern and it's like, I hate to use this word, but it's woke as fuck. You know what I mean?
Steven
Like
Universe it's almost like pre-woke.
yeah. Like the thing about She-Ra is like, okay, for instance, this is the example I always give to people, right? It's like the one of the main characters, this character Bo, right? There's like the three little friends, right? There's She-Ra, Bo, and I forget the other the girl's name. She's like a
Schmucky.
princess or something. Yeah. So Bo, he's got the secret that he's hiding from the other two, and they don't know what it is. So, they wind up following him. They go to his house,
This is
and
and the Princess of Power, right? I'm getting a
yeah,
logo to put up on screen for everybody. There we
yeah.
go.
So they go to this kid's house and they find out that,
One.
the show kind of leads you to believe that he's hiding that he has two dads or something like that. But
Okay.
that's not what he's hiding. He's hiding the fact that his parents are like historians and they want him to be a historian, and he's a warrior, and he's been hiding it from his family because he doesn't want them to know he's a warrior. And the way the show does it is like, so like, in my opinion, like it seemed to me like as an adult watching it, like very artfully written, because it's like, oh, you think the secret he's hiding is that his parents are gay, but that's not even something they bring up or care about at all on the show. It's just there, and it's done so that it's normal and nobody questions it, nobody brings it up, and that's not a part of his character, like, at all. Like, his character is not like, oh, I'm Bo, the guy with two dads. It's just that, oh, I'm Bo, and he just happens to have two dads,
I
and
love that.
there's nothing like irregular or like,
Nobody even thinks to question it.
exactly. It's just fine. It just is what it is. And there's so many moments like that in that show when I've seen my daughter watching it, where it's like characters are gay or characters like seem like they're trans. Like, I haven't seen enough, but like they allude to some more trans characters, or like more masculine, characters, more masculine female
If
characters,
you're
or more feminine male characters,
if
but
your
they don't.
daughter is digging this, man, I'm telling you, Steven Universe is 100% her lane.
Okay, so I'll definitely
She
make her
will
watch it.
dive the
Not
fuck
make her watch it, but
in. You should force her. Hold her
yeah,
head.
watch the show.
You got to get the little Clockwork Orange clips up in her
Yeah.
eyes and some little droppers.
Continue to watch the show. You will be woke. Um,
You're gonna woke the fuck up.
yeah, but no, it's a great show. I can't, like, there's been times I've been sitting down with her and I get like roped into it. There's another one on there too that she got really into. I think it was called like Kupo or Kipo.
No, Koopa. So it's actually based on a movie, Kupo and the Two Strings, and then it's spun off into a Netflix series. And I have
Oh,
really
it's something
been.
different.
Are you
Something different.
sure?
Yes, this is one. Kipo maybe then it is. So it's about this girl in the post-apocalyptic world who is like able to like transform into like a big jaguar cheetah monster thing, but it's
Interesting.
has a lot of life lesson situations in it like that too.
Do you know what does it play on? Is it like a Netflix one?
Netflix. I think it's Kipo maybe.
Let's see.
But yeah, like there's like one episode where like her like friend in the show, she has
Kipo, Kipo, and the
there you
Age
go.
of Wonder Beasts.
Yeah. So there's like an episode in the show where like her friend is she doesn't know her friend is gay, but she's like kind of has like an attraction to him. And then she like tells the kid like how she feels, but then he has to like let her down, be like, hey, I'm actually gay, basically. And then the episode's about, hey, we can still be friends and like be really good friends, even though we can't have a relationship. And that's the lesson they teach. And it's like, that's so good. That's such a good,
Yeah, that's what
wholesome
kids
as fuck.
need to fucking hear.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Steven Universe does a lot of these same themes, but what I like is it's all displayed through alien culture. So this kid here, and I want to tell you specifics, but there are so many parts.
But you want me to watch it? Yeah.
Because the reveals are so. It's a drip feed show. You start off watching the show and you go, why the fuck did someone suggest this to me? But as you go through, you start to realize that they've been drip feeding you lore since episode 1. There's just shit going on that you're like, that doesn't matter. Oh, wait, that did matter. And the reveals are so good, but basically you have this character who's kind of raised one foot in two worlds. He's on Earth, but he's raised by aliens, the gem warriors, the crystal gems, who, his mother was one of, and he's half alien himself. And just kind of making this balance between gem culture and human culture and figuring out who he is and what his role in this world is so, like, bro, that show has brought me to tears.
Damn.
At points. Like, that
Okay.
shit's heavy, and it's
Okay.
just played so well. And one of the things I actually really love, and I actually discussed this with Jay on the show, and I thought he would kind of hate this aspect, and it's actually one of the things that drew him in. I finally got him to watch the whole show, and after badgering him for about a year to watch it, he thanked me for introducing it to him. But one of the things I love is it is an action show. There is combat, he summons a shield and a sword, and he fights stuff. But just as often as he's fighting things, he's solving problems by talking it out with his enemy. And, like, legitimately, like, he'll fight them, and then he'll go, like, why are we doing this? What is this helping? What is you beating me or me beating you actually going to solve? And I just love that, like, when we were kids, it was all either gross-out cartoons or action cartoons. And folks got beaten up, and that's how you solved your problems. And, like, you know, as an adult working in office life, let me tell you how often you get to beat people up to solve your problems. It's never. Yeah. And I just kind of love that this is something that's looking at kids going, like, hey, when there's a time for action, there's a time for action. And when there's a time for discussing things, there's a time for discussing things. And honestly, discussing things comes up a lot more.
And that's kind of the thing too, is that like with that in particular, like with cartoons when we were growing up, if you ever tried to talk with your enemy in the cartoon, right, and be like, oh, like, why are we doing this? We need to stop. Like, they wouldn't stop, and you would just have to kick their ass.
It was because evil.
Yeah, because I hate you, because I'm your enemy, blah. Like, I want what you have, whatever it was. Like, then you'd maybe have like one anti-hero character that would eventually become a good guy, you know, and join the good guy squad. But more often than not, that never happened. So having a character that like actually is successful with talking to their enemies and talking shit out, that's pretty cool.
The bad guy becoming good guy is one of my favorite season 1 anime tropes, because so many of them do. Like, enemy from season 1 is now a running cast member for the rest of the show as a friend. And speaking of tropes, this is my way of segueing into our Barry Judd list for the week. So we have kind of an obscure one this week that I kind of like. We fell into this by accident. Our Barry Judd for this week, I guess not even best, just top 5 zombie love tropes. And as anybody who watches this show knows, this is up to interpretation by the person writing the list. So I'm curious to see exactly what Colin has landed on as a zombie love trope. But since you are the guest, I'm going to give you... Do you want to go first? Do you want to get yours out of the way? Or do you want to see what mine is so you can kind of sculpt and mold yours as we go?
It doesn't matter if I go first or second. What I want to know is if I have 9 of them and I don't have them in order, does it matter?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. I will, I guess, go first if that's okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. So the first one I wrote down is like my number 1, so I'll do that last. I guess should I go from 5 to 1 or just worst to best? I don't know.
Whatever feels right, bro.
Okay. My lover is a zombie, but I think I can get through to them and they'll hear me. So I get too close and then I get my face eaten off.
Okay. So I have a similar one to this, but I'm actually going to keep it on my list because you went down a deeper dive on it than I did and got very specific. So why did it make the list? What stands out about this? Is it overused? Do you love it when it's used?
It is overused, and it's always like someone like, oh, sweetheart, oh, no, they're still in there. They can hear me. I just need to go over there. And then like, no, don't do that. And then they get too close, and the zombie looks like maybe it hears them for a second, and then they bite into their neck, and then they start to, oh my God, I thought he was there, you know.
And I will scrub this from my list, actually, because I do have extras as well. But the way I put it was, my spouse was bit, and I can't admit it.
Yeah.
Because even like Dawn of the Dead, the remake, they pull this, and you know, somebody doesn't want to admit that they're bit, and then guess who's on the inside and turned? It was the guy with the pregnant wife, and she gets bit and has the zombie baby, which is a creepy goddamn scene. Like,
okay, that was actually my number 1, and you brought it up, so I'll just say it. That's my number 1, because that one is like, whenever I think of like fucked up, like, because love is a very broad term, you could say like kids or parents or a spouse, whatever, girlfriend, boyfriend. So just anybody that you're close to, I guess. But that one in particular, it's like, oh, my wife got bit, and then she
Yeah.
has a baby, and I don't tell anybody, and then you have this fucking like secret zombie baby thing happening, and that shit was fucked up. And that dude winds up like killing a couple more people because they try to take the baby away or
Yep.
kill the baby. But that scene was just so gnarly.
Oh yeah, the little like. Although I didn't see a point in killing the zombie baby because it don't got teeth.
I mean, I guess that's true. I mean, it's just like a,
I mean, it's creepy and wrong, but
yeah,
you know,
it's
I
just
guess
like,
you didn't need to waste a bullet.
yeah. I mean,
Oh, I'm gonna be a bad person right now. I mean, you know, they were in a mall. They could have just dropped something on it. Okay, moving.
yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, but that like the horror of that, like, which we've talked about this too, like parental horror for zombie movies is
Yeah.
always like my biggest thing, like because I have kids, so it's like
Right. No, that'll fucking affect you in a different way once you've crossed that line.
that one didn't when I before I had kids, I'm like, oh, zombie baby, shoot it, you know,
Fucking kill it.
yeah, who cares? It's but now as a parent, I was like, oh God, like I don't know how I would react to that, you know what I mean? But there's a million worse versions of that, like, my kid got bit and turned into a zombie thing, like, and so many more things. The worst
You're
one
tap
was Walking
dancing
Dead,
around
but
another one on my list, but you haven't quite hit it, so we're good.
okay, all right, I guess I'll keep going then. My lover is getting eaten by zombies, and I jump in to save them irrationally and get myself eaten.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't have anything like that on my list.
The one I thought of was Shaun of the Dead, when the guy
Yes.
with the glasses, the dickhead guy that nobody
The
likes,
twat.
yeah, he gets pulled out through the window or whatever, and he starts getting eaten, and they're like, like putting their hands in his tummy and fucking ripping his guts out of him. And she's like,
Great
"I'll
scene.
save you!" And then she has like the severed arm as a weapon, I think, or something, right? And she's like running in.
And
But that
actually, if
happens a
you
lot.
watch the DVD bonus features, she survives. The
Oh my
bonus features have a whole bunch of things where they fill in plot holes, and that's one of the plot holes. She actually makes her way through the horde and survives by hiding in a tree until the army saves her as well.
wow, damn. Well, that sucks. She kind of sucks too.
You know, I like the actress. She did a great job, and at least she was against her twat boyfriend when she needed to be against her twat boyfriend. I'll give credit to
Yeah.
the character.
Was that even her boy? I don't know. I think she was
Yeah,
like in love with.
he was her boyfriend, or he was her girlfriend. How am I fucking this sentence up so badly?
I get
He
what you're
was her
saying.
boyfriend, but he was in love with
With
Sean's
Sean's
girlfriend.
girlfriend.
That's
Yeah,
what it
that's
was.
what it was. Yeah. Yeah, that guy was a twat.
He's actually
Twat,
got a
twat. How do you say it? Twat or twat? I've heard it both ways.
both ways work. It just depends on
Okay.
which side of the pond you're on. If you
Okay.
ever get the chance, though, he's on a British TV show called Black's Books that probably has the strongest first episode of any sitcom I've seen.
Okay.
It's so good. He just plays this like really curmudgeon-y bookstore owner who's a dick, and it's on Netflix. You gotta check. It fucking plays. It works.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Black's Books.
All right, next up on your list,
Okay.
soldiering through. So this is number 4 technically, since we kind of spoiled your number 1.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right.
I feel like I've seen this as something. Maybe I just remember it from Walking Dead, and it was disturbing. But person who keeps zombies as lovers, and I even put in parentheses, gross, right next to it. But
I recently submitted my comic that I wrote to Heavy Metal Magazine, and on
oh
their
yeah, yeah.
submission guide, they actually put on the submission guide, like, look, we don't depict graphic sex, we don't depict extreme bondage, and we don't depict bestiality. And then in brackets it says, because that's gross.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
same kind of thing.
Yeah. The one example would be like the governor, right?
Yep.
Yeah, fucking psychopath. I'm sure it's come up in other movies too, but nothing that I've seen. But that was like the only one that I could. But there are also some like weird zombie movies that came. There was like a string of like teen lover zombie movies.
Yeah,
Remember when
Warm
those?
Bodies.
Yeah, that was like a thing. There was like a
Hmm.
couple of them that came out around that time period. I don't remember what year it was, but there was a couple of them that came out. I never watched them. They looked terrible.
Warm
Um,
Bodies, I didn't like when I first watched it, but now a lot of like the horror movie review sites that I follow pretty closely are swearing by it.
hmm.
And I'm wondering if it wasn't just that it came out right when I was burnt out on zombie stuff. So I
Mhm.
feel like I need to give Warm Bodies another try.
I mean, I'll give it a shot if it's really that good. I've heard from some people it was decent, but
I'll fall
it
on that
just
sword for you. Wait till I rewatch it, and I'll let you know if it's
cool. Do
really
that.
worth your time.
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah,
I mean, not that you have much more time than I do, but
yeah.
I don't want to spend it watching watching that if it's
Watching
terrible.
subpar zombie shit. I do like that main actor that's in there, though.
Yeah, there was also that zombie kept as a pet one too. Fido.
Fido is good.
Yeah, I heard that.
I'll go to bat for Fido. Also, that's
Okay.
Billy Connolly, and he looks nothing like himself in that movie, so fucking amazing. No,
Cool.
Fido's worth your time.
Okay. But I'll put it on the short list.
Yeah.
Um, okay, my lover has turned and I couldn't save them and now I don't have the balls to kill them.
Ooh, yeah, and we almost get that in Shaun of the Dead. He's really struggling with taking out his mom after she's bit.
Yeah, and then oh well, still like with his friend too.
Yeah, he never actually kills Nick Frost's character. Ed?
Yeah,
Ed.
yeah, Ed. Yeah, Walking Dead, there's an example with Dwayne. Or no,
Mm-hmm.
actually, what was the guy's name? Oh, he's a fantastic actor too. Not just the comic book was a little bit different on this, but
Oh, are you
the
talking about Shane with John Barenthal?
no, not Shane. It was the guy who he meets right at the beginning that hits him on the head with the shovel, and his son's name is Dwayne. I forget the character's
Oh,
name.
yes. What is the dad's name? I know exactly. And he's played by the guy from Terminator 2.
Yeah, he was also in Snatch.
Was he
Yeah,
in Snatch?
yeah, he's like an older black guy. I
I gotta
forget his
rewatch
name, but he's
Snatch.
British actor, but he's fantastic. Such a great actor. But in the show, one of the things that it's like his wife got turned, and then he could not kill his wife, and that's part of the reason they were like holding up in the house is because he would see her outside, and he would have like the gun trained on her, but then he just couldn't pull the trigger because
Yeah.
he like it's still his wife.
Touching moment.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean. I won't spoil anything, but it's yeah, um, it gets less touching.
Well, there's some touching involved, but
Yeah, yeah, probably, yeah, yeah. Um, let's see. So this one, I don't. This one's not as great. But we both turn into zombies so we can be together forever. I feel like that's come up in a few things, or
yeah,
like one person gets bit and then the other person is like, "Oh, well, I'll be a zombie too, or you bite me too, and we'll like, you know what I mean?"
yeah, we'll go
Um,
down together. We're on this
yeah.
sinking ship.
That one's not very great though, but my lover is a zombie already, and I'm keeping them alive because I can't let go. Possibly will kill someone to protect them.
We're again tap dancing
Yep.
really close to one on my list. And also, the way you worded it sounds like a Jerry Springer episode that I'm kind of interested in watching, so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this happens in at least every zombie movie. Somebody gets bitten, and this is something that I hate too, because it's like, like not to say like if I was in that situation, because I don't know what I do. Maybe I would act the same way. That's a tough situation to be in. I just hate seeing in every zombie movie how there's always that one person who's like, oh, my significant other or my person got bit, my friend, whatever, you're not killing them, I won't let you, blah blah
Right,
blah. It's like, what do you think, you're gonna save them? They're fucking gonna turn into a zombie. You're not gonna save them.
right.
you know at least put them out of their misery, or like say your goodbyes, and then we'll shoot them in the head right before they turn or after they turn or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something like that.
So you are over 5, and you're tap dancing closer and closer to mine. So I want to shift over just
Go for it.
before we start to overlap on them.
Yeah, because literally the one I wrote right after that was like basically the same thing with just different writing. So yeah,
Okay,
I'm tapped. You do
perfect,
you.
perfect. Okay, So I'm just gonna go, and I have over 5 again as well, because this one was so loosey goosey, and I wasn't sure
Hmm.
what our interpretations were gonna be. I wanted to have backup, so we'll call this our Barry Judd extended for this one, because
Okay.
we've gone over 5 on it. Um, and so this is one of the ones you were tap dancing around, and you mentioned the governor, and if I'm remembering correctly, the governor is actually super guilty of this one in a bad, bad way. But I'm keeping my child zombie and,
Mm,
feeding people to keep my quote unquote child alive.
yeah.
Very overused, and again, understandable. Like, even if your kid was a zombie, you gonna shoot him in the face? You're probably not. That's not a thing a lot of parents could bring themselves to do.
Yeah, that's a crazy one. As a parent, I couldn't imagine that situation. I
Right.
mean, but you know,
And that's why it gets used so much, is because it's so relatable and so hard for people
so
to.
heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in the governor's case, though, one thing that I always wondered is if that really was his daughter or if he was just a creep. You know what I
Yeah, and
mean?
with the governor, who knows? Because he
Yeah.
was whacked.
Yeah.
I
Um,
still lean Governor over Negan. And that's not me downplaying Negan. Negan is a great, great villain, but I really like the Governor as a villain.
I liked hating the governor more than
But,
Negan.
like, exactly, he
Yeah.
brought that fucking hate. Like, part of you
Yeah.
kind of likes Negan. And I guess, like, a lot of
Yeah.
people like a sympathetic villain or a villain you like, but for me, I'm like a King Joffrey fan. I want a villain who makes me want to
Ugh.
bitch slap the fuck out of him. But like, the fact that you go, he did
Yeah,
his
exactly. Yeah,
job.
no, you're
He
right. You're right.
nailed it. He made you hate him.
Yeah,
That
that's
was the
that's
governor.
that's the thing. It's like do I like them more? No, I hate them more, but that's why he's a good villain.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, the show, I don't think they really got the governor right, but the
No, they did
comic,
not.
yeah, he was definitely fucked up and just like he was just like the archetypal small man. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He was just a small man with too much power.
I don't remember if
Um,
they ever actually. I believe they did a side series that goes over the governor's history, like how he
oh
rose to
shit.
be the governor. And part of me wants to believe that he was like a mall security guard.
Just somebody that yeah, just like just total fucking dick. Yeah.
Yeah, just like total power trip,
Hmm.
egomaniac, but like impotent, limp dick piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And they like just even like the guy that got to play him in the show, while he's a good actor, I just it didn't have the same he didn't even have the look like he just
No.
looked like a sniveling like fucking just little
Worm.
shit bag. Yeah, he just looked like
Yeah.
a worm exactly in the comic. But yeah, no, that one, yeah, that's a tough one. But it goes back to the zombie baby thing again. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's
again,
like,
you've been right around that
yeah.
one a bunch. Okay, so my next one, and this is me. Like I told you, I like to play fast and loose with my own rules. So
Hmm.
this is not exclusive to zombies, but it happens in just about every zombie story. Opposites falling in love and only meeting because of the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happens in every apocalypse story, and honestly, I'm kind of sick of the cliche. I mean, like, yay, the nerd got the cheerleader because everybody's dead, or what. Like, can we just be done with that trope? Can that trope die? It's cool once in a while, but the fact that not even just every zombie movie, every apocalypse movie feels a need to jam this shit down your throat, and I'm done with it.
I mean, if anything, it's kind of just fucked up because the message it's really portraying is that the only way a guy like that could ever get a girl
Yeah,
like that is if
don't worry,
he's,
once you are the last man on
yeah,
earth.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
that makes my list because of my hatred for that gross overused trope.
well, I don't want to bring up The Walking Dead again because we talk about it a lot and it is
But you're
fresh in my
gonna.
mind. You know this. It's fresh on my mind. I just finished it. But the yeah, I'm gonna do it again. Better example, right? Because so for instance, like Zombieland, right?
Hmm.
Uh nerdy kind of, scrawny guy gets with Emma Stone, whatever,
Kind of tough, badass, take no
Yeah,
shit kind of girl. Yeah.
yeah, and then he winds up kind of being a badass, but in his own way, and a scrawny kind of, like intelligent, like kind of like he's a nerd, but like he's good at killing zombies because he's just like a smart kid.
Right.
Um, and they do their thing, they fall in love, whatever. But kind of, yeah, same thing you're talking about. It sucks. But, like Walking Dead, you have like
I hope you're gonna bring up the one that I think you're gonna bring up because it's actually like the one example I love.
I was gonna bring up Dale and Andrea
Yes.
and Rick and Andrea because that's
Sure. Sure.
same thing. It's a bit more realistic. It's like, oh,
I
like
love the Dale Andrea thing. The Dale Andrea is so good.
shared trauma, and
Yeah.
also like the protector, like, but mostly shared trauma. It's like this, which is like a real psychological thing. Like people
Absolutely.
do that.
But I also
Um,
the characters recognize it. Like
yeah,
Dale is constantly like, "Why are you with me?" And she's like, "Because I'm safe with you, man." Like that's
yeah,
what it is. Because you bring an amount of comfort, and comfort's what I'm after.
yep,
So you're
yep,
not doing me wrong. That's what I want. You're bringing the thing I want. Sold.
yep.
Fuck. The more we're talking about it, the more you're making me want to reread the whole series. But damn, it's such a
You
good
should.
series.
I mean, you might as well.
Do you know how
It's.
slowly I read, dude? It's gonna take me forever to do 32 books.
I probably
Forever.
will tell you this with like utmost certainty that I'll probably never reread it because the first two, because I read the compendiums, and the first
Right.
two compendiums were just
Heavy.
gut-wrenchingly heavy for me. Like the second two weren't as bad, but the first two were just like, ugh, because like
Well,
it's.
because by the time you get, I think if you jumped in for whatever stupid reason, like don't do this. But if you were to jump in at the second two, they'd be just as gut wrenching. Like think of the oh my god, why can't I think of his name? He's the badass military dude who's
Oh,
traveling with the Hispanic.
Abraham.
Yes, Abraham's death should have killed all of us, and yet
Yeah,
by that point you're so numb.
yeah,
You're like, and just like they are, they even when they bury him, they're like, "Is nobody gonna say anything?" They're like, "This fucking happens every Tuesday. Like, what do you
yep,
want from us?" You go through the same thing they're going through. Somebody just being offed like that. Blink of an eye. He was there 1 second. He's not there now. We've been there. We done
yep.
that. I think that's the only reason the next two books aren't as gut wrenching, is because they already ripped your guts out. There's nothing left.
Yeah, yeah. There was a couple in like the first, like, I think it was like ending of Compendium 1 and like first quarter of Compendium 2 were like the hardest things
Is
for
that the
me.
prison?
The prison, end of the prison,
The end of the prison is
and
so
then
fucked up.
oh God, that was,
And
yeah.
what's worse is they ruined it in the show. I
Yeah,
made it that far in the show, and I was like, "You fucking neutered this scene."
well, the show is fucked up in its own way though, because like, Carl has to cut the baby out of his mom. You know what I mean?
Wah.
Which is like,
Boo.
but I don't know. Then again, for Carl in the comic, that's probably not a big deal. Carl in the
Right.
comic is way
Carl's a
tougher
little
than,
savage, bro.
yeah, he's yeah, yeah, I won't even go into that too
And,
much
and
more.
the show actually robbed him of one of his strongest scenes. If I remember correctly, in the show, it's not Carl who puts down Shane. And Carl needs to put down Shane.
I think, does he though?
I think Rick takes the final shot.
Maybe, but no, Carl sees it happen in the
Carl
show.
sees
That's
it,
why.
but in the comic, Carl takes the shot.
Yeah,
Carl puts down Shane and does it wrong.
yeah. One of the things that yeah, that's also, yeah, that's a really big scene for him. You're right. But one of the other things I didn't like after reading the comic later was Carl in the comic shoots the kid that kills his brother.
Yes.
That was a big defining moment, and they
Yes.
took that from him in the show too.
Are those kids
Which,
even in the show?
uh, no, but there are other kids that take the place of those kids,
Gotcha.
and it's not him that does it, and it's way later. And I was very upset about that. Like after reading the comic later, I'm like, damn, that's like a defining thing for his character, like a big fucking thing.
Also,
Um,
the show does Sophia dirty.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
All right, I'm gonna jump down next one on the list. This one again, it's me bending rules, but this is just a thing I don't get. I don't get it, and it's done all the time. I'm talking in general, sexy zombies. I'm not a sexy zombie guy. Not in a sticker, not in a cartoon, not in a video game. I don't understand sexy. I'm even a Shanti. If you've played those games, they're kind of like they're not even sexualized, but they're like sexy cartoon girl platformer video games. I enjoy them because I'm a big like Metroidvania platformer kind of fan.
Hmm.
and they're solid games. But there's a character in there called Roddy Tops, who's a sexy zombie character, and I'm like, I don't get it. I
Yeah,
don't get it.
I'm with you there. I think it's more pushing the disgusting gross factor because it's like they're
No,
like twisting
this is
that.
legitimate trying to play it up as cutesy.
Well, some people probably. Anyways, I don't want to go down that road.
I
Uh,
gotta just for the audience, I'm gonna bring up Roddy Tops really quick.
one example. Have you seen Zombie Strippers?
Jesus fuck no. So for
It's a
anybody watching and calling, if you want to check out the YouTube really quick, I have it up on screen. But this is Roddy Tops, and this is like you know, again, the games are very fun. I enjoy the platforminess, but this is kind of the tone where like every character's sort of dressed and shaped like this, and like this is not hot.
Is this on
dead.
the N5D? I'm not.
Here,
I'm not even on the thing right now.
I can
Sure.
link you really quick. Let's
Send me a link. Yeah, that'd be great.
There you go. But yeah, that's Roddy Tops, and I mean even the name, bro. You called her Roddy Tops.
Oh yeah, that's
gross. What am I
gross.
supposed to do with this? And you know what's worse is the old Rule 32. You know somebody's fapping it to it.
Yeah, I don't even want to think or talk about that.
Sexy zombies. I'm not down. I'm just not down.
Okay, so that's a little bit different because that's more like anime, and that's like yeah, cutesy, whatever. But like, there's
Are you
a
maybe
lot of
Google
like,
sexy zombies right now?
no, I'm not. I don't again don't want to go down that rabbit hole. But I like okay, for instance, like zombie strippers, it's supposed to be extra gross because they're taking something that's supposed to be sexualized and
Sure.
making it gross.
And that I can get behind because we're playing on the idea.
Yeah, and in zombie strippers, they do that, and that like actually like as corny as a zombie movie it is, it's not. In my opinion, it wasn't bad. I've seen it, but it was also like
Shudder.
oh, they probably do. It's terrible, but it's like good terrible. You know what I mean?
I'm into good terrible is my fucking wheelhouse. Have you read
Yeah.
my comics, please?
Yeah. There's like a scene where like well, because it's almost like the zombie strippers still have like some kind of coherent thought, like
Okay.
ironically. So like you know like one of them's like turns into a zombie and the guy's like oh hey and she's like oh you don't think I'm sexy and she like sits on his face, you know what I mean, but she's like a zombie, like a rotting nasty zombie.
Ugh.
But it's like but like that's also a weird trait because usually you don't see zombies that can like talk or like have a conversation or whatever, even if they're trying to eat your face or whatever.
So this actually does jump me into my next one on the list.
Okay, perfect.
Another trope that honestly I'm just kind of done with. Seeing a loved one or seeing something familiar triggers memories in zombies. I think this was done probably the best once, and that was in Land of the Dead, just sort of like unofficially a sequel to the original Day, Night, Dawn of the Deads.
Land of the Dead. Which one was that?
John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper as probably like the biggest name stars in it, and it's post-apocalyptic. They play as people from like a city of survivors, and there's like a gas station zombie who's leading a zombie revolution because he's slowly getting his memories back. That was probably the best application. Maybe Warm Bodies, but now the zombies seeing loved ones and remembering things, like, yep, we get it. iZombie turned it into a whole thing. I did like the show. Comic is vastly different than the show, for anybody wondering. Like, it's almost not the same thing, but she's a detective who eats brains, gains memories, and solves crimes.
Oh, interesting.
The show is really fun. It's a CW show, so some punches are kind of pulled, but it is it's worth watching to the end. It was fun. I liked it.
Okay.
The chick who plays the main girl, her name is Liv Moore. You can go ahead and groan at the idea of a zombie named Liv Moore right now if you want.
Ick.
But right.
Yeah.
But she's great because every time she eats a brain, she kind of inhabits the personality of the person whose brain she ate. So credit to the actor for being able to play so many different roles.
That would be a fun role to play too in that regard. You know what I mean? It's always kind of changing up a bit. The other thing too is like, tell me that doesn't sound more like an anime plot than like an actual, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
And the
Like it
fact that
reminds
they
me of
had
like
the
Tokyo
balls
Ghoul
to
or
do
something.
it live action was great. One of the
Yeah.
things I love is she's like 5 seasons in, still not comfortable with eating brains, so she's always trying to she up her brains, and they always do like Edgar Wright kind of cuts of her chopping and preparing her brains into like meals. So it's like
Yeah.
brain sushi, brain pasta, brain sandwiches, chicken fried brain.
Oh,
I kind of love that they do that so often, though. It's
it's
so
like a
fun.
running gag on the
Yeah,
show, kind of
I,
nice.
it's worth a watch if you need filler TV. Like you
Okay.
need some background noise while you do shit, especially if you love crime procedurals, which my wife does. I fucking hate crime procedurals, but that one is actually it's pretty fun. I did enjoy it.
Crime procedurals, like Law and Order would be like a crime procedural, right?
Yes,
Okay, I don't mind Law and
I
Order,
fucking
but
hate them.
they're like certain I don't mind them. I don't like the SVU one as much because that just kind of disturbs me a lot of the time when it's like that, it's like fucking pedos and fucking like all that shit. It just
I'm
gets
told
really
that one's
dark.
particularly. She's more of a CSI than a Law and Order kind of person, but
Uh yeah, fucking
that is her least favorite one. But yes,
oh my God. Yeah, no, I've never really watched too much CSI, but I like that. Yeah, the I like the regular Law and Order and Criminal Intent. Those are okay. Um,
fair
but yeah,
enough.
what's next on your list?
All right. My ex is a zombie, so killing them is sweet. It's a lesser used trope, but it is a used trope. You can even not call it the ex, but my asshole neighbor, my twat roommate, my person I don't like is now suddenly a zombie, and I get to enjoy killing them. It was funny a couple of times. Now that everyone is doing it, fuck off.
I
I'm done
think
with this trope.
is it just me or did a lot of these like really get like put into motion because of Shaun of the Dead? Like
I feel like they're the OG for a lot of these things, yeah.
yeah, like they took like tropes for zombie movies and just zombie anything and they made it into something hilarious, but like they executed it in a way and like that I feel like and everybody would want to do and everybody would actually do if they were in that situation and they were just like that type of guy.
Yep.
Like, "Oh, go grab my girlfriend and my folks." You know what I mean?
Hold up in my
Uh
favorite bar.
yeah, go to the fucking pub, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And it'll be fine and wait for help to arrive. And it's like, that scene where like his asshole roommate and he kills his asshole roommate and it's
Yep.
like he enjoys doing that,
Oh, and he even gets the
It's
big
like
line that he said before, leave him alone.
yeah.
And actually, one of my favorite things about Shaun of the Dead to this day, and I swear to fuck, I cannot rewatch that movie without noticing a new instance of this. But did you know it's the same movie twice? So, everything that happens to Shaun before the zombie apocalypse happens to Shaun after the zombie apocalypse. The same background characters, the same lines are delivered to and by the same characters, both pre apocalypse and post apocalypse.
Yeah, I could think I could kind of see that looking at it
So
now.
even like
I mean,
he runs into his ex and she does the at least someone made it, meaning the first time, hey, our relationship didn't work, but at least you and Liz are still together. Then at the end of the movie, he runs into her again and she goes, at least someone made it, now meaning at least you both survived.
yeah.
There's the kid is kicking the soccer ball and almost hits him and he goes, you're dead, and then at
Yeah.
the end, the
Yeah.
dead kid is kicking the soccer ball.
Yeah.
The leave him alone. At first, he's yelling at his roommate to leave Ed alone, and then the roommate is the one who bites Ed, and Sean shoots him and tells him to leave him. Literally, the exact same lines from the first half of the movie are delivered in the second half of the movie. It's just before and after the zombies show up. It is worth a rewatch, if only to spot all of the things that are completely circular in that movie. That movie is so smart.
Yeah, it is. It's
For
very
a
well written.
stupid zombie stoner comedy, it is so smart.
It's a good zombie movie. It's a good comedy. It's got good writing. It's heart-wrenching at times
Yep.
and identifiable. Yeah, it's a very good movie.
Oh, one of my Edgar Wright is one of my favorite directors. Fucking, he has not done a bad film yet. All right, and then the last one on my list, Again, maybe lesser used if you're not deep into the zombie genre, but the zombie on a quest to save a loved one, Warm Bodies, Stubbs the Zombie, the 1992, My Boyfriend's Back. Have you seen?
Nope. This
My
is probably the
Boyfriend's
only thing you're talking about so far that I cannot identify with at all. Like,
So this is actually weirdly, and this is the one time today I wish Jay was here, because he's probably 1993. I was so fucking close. It's a video based on the classic song, My Boyfriend's Back and You're Gonna... So the movie is called My Boyfriend's Back, and it is a movie about a guy who is killed, I think it's on prom night, and he comes back as a zombie, and his prom date is being harassed by dudes, and he's dead, and he just wants to do right by her, so he comes back from the dead just to take his girl to the prom, and it's actually like cute little rom-com, but 1993 they were doing this trope. It's called My Boyfriend's Back. It's actually a really fun... Is anybody worthwhile in here? I think I need to re-rent this, because I have not seen this movie in 20 years, probably.
so he's less of a zombie, and he's more of like, in D&D terms, he'd be more of like a revenant, right?
I mean, yeah.
Back from the grave to settle the score kind of thing.
Yeah, I buy that.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm just pulling this up right now to see if anybody, like, noteworthy is in this movie, but I'm willing to bet probably not. But cute movie, was able to watch it as a kid, no problem, and yet it's very much the antithesis of that trope of, like, dude comes back from the dead to take care of his loved one. I'm doing... Oh, wow, okay. Here's 2 deep cuts, and because, remember, this is 1993, these are names that you would not expect to see in a 1993 movie. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh, wow.
And Matthew Fox, Jack from Lost.
Oh, shit. He was probably really young.
1993, yeah. Oh, yeah. And honestly, those are the biggest names. The leads are Andrew Lowry and Tracy Lind. Maybe
those both sound familiar. Those names sound familiar.
But
maybe they're on TV shows or something I saw.
Probably. Or maybe they were just bigger. Oh, so the dude was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. With, who is that? It's not Christy Swanson. Who the fuck played Buffy in the original? It is Christy Swanson. I was right. Yeah, Christy Swanson, Donald Sutherland, Rutger Hauer, Pee Wee Herman plays like a creepy familiar in it. You ever seen the original Buffy movie?
No, I haven't.
Nothing like the show.
Okay, I was like, well, all these people you're mentioning, I don't remember them at all from the show. It must be way different.
And this is coming from a fan of the Buffy show. I do like that show. The movie is really good, and Luke Perry plays the fucking, the love interest in it. David Arquette plays the best friend when he's, 19 years old, if that.
Wow.
Another one for your short list, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, actually really fun, and Paul Reubens has this great improv scene. He plays, the right-hand man vampire to the main vampire, and his death scene, apparently he improv'd, so he gets staked through the heart, but it's not good enough for him just to fall down dead. He does this big, over-the-top,
yeah.
And, it goes on for, 2 minutes of him just reacting to being staked, and it's perfect. The original Buffy the Vampire Slayer is fan-fucking-tastic if you've never seen it. But yeah, My Boyfriend's Back. You know what? I'm going to go out without having rewatched it. I'm going to say a must-watch. Check it out and let me know. Anybody seeing this, does it hold up? I'm going to try and get a hold of it. Maybe we'll do a review on it with Jay, because, again, we grew up together, so I know he grew up on this as well. And I'm curious to see what you think if you do check it out.
I might.
It's not going to be easy to find, I'll tell you that. It's definitely not streaming.
I'll tell you this, if it's not easy to find, there's a good chance I won't watch it.
I'm going to look it up right now. I'm willing to bet it is not streaming anywhere.
Yeah, probably not.
iTunes for $2.99, Google Play for $3.99, and Vudu for $3.99. It is not free anywhere. So
hey, $2.99. That's
not
not
bad, but
terrible.
I don't fucking give Apple money for anything because fuck them. But fuck them to death. No, I'm one of the weirdos who still gets Netflix discs. So maybe this is gonna be a Netflix disc rental. I've got to see.
Well, while you order your Netflix disc, I'll just walk up to my Apple TV and click rent.
Gross. Gross. We're Amazon Fire Stick in this house, okay?
I still have Amazon. Not that I'm like, oh, I support Amazon. Like, great, cool.
Fuck you, Bezos.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, like again, and this is something you don't get often nowadays. A movie based off of a song.
yeah.
You don't get that ever. But I like this is not the only instance of it. Did you ever see the movie One-Eyed, One-Horned Flying Purple People Eater?
No.
There is absolutely a movie.
I know it exists because as soon as you mentioned it, I literally was transported back to my childhood, walking through
Yes.
Blockbuster and seeing it on the shelf in Blockbuster, and it's got like he's flying on the front,
Yes,
right? He's flying through
I've
like the
got
night
it pulled
sky.
up on the
Yeah,
screen right now.
yeah,
I feel like I need.
yeah.
Wow, and honestly, just off of the cover, Ned Beatty and Shirley Winters as the stars in that, like big name stars for a movie based on the shitty lyrics of like a 1950s worthless song. Who else is in this? One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Oh, yep, there it is. Fuck.
Yeah. Yes. Here,
Oh my
if I
God.
just do that, is that gonna come up? Because I spelled like none of that. Wow, searching this in IMDb comes up with nothing. Hold on, I gotta spell it right. One-eyed, one-horned, flying. Wow, it's got IMDb has nothing on this film existing.
Wow.
Just shocking.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, this is actually the second time this has happened to me. There was this one movie me and Jay grew up watching. The only things we could remember about this movie, it was about space aliens coming down on Halloween night in search of something called Kubi to power their ship and go home. And it turned out at the end that Kubi was their word for candy, and all they needed was a bunch of candy to power their ship and go home. And we tried and tried and tried to find this movie. I mean, literally, me and him were going back and forth for at least 3 years trying to find this film. And we both would have put money down that it was called The Halloween That Almost Wasn't. Turns out we're right, but there's 2 movies called The Halloween That Almost Wasn't, and this one was a made-for-TV movie that didn't quite make it onto... I think it's on there now, but we were looking for this like 10 years ago when it was already 10 years old then, and IMDb just did not have that info in that time, and we thought we both somehow like mutually hallucinated this film, but no, turns out it's absolutely real. It was a thing. Halloween
Yeah, I've
was.
definitely had some moments like that where I'm like, did this movie existed? I swear. I thought that, do you remember that one time where I was talking about I think we were gaming and I was talking to Clifton and I was saying like I remember from my childhood seeing this like show, what I thought was a movie at the time that traumatized me about like some kid getting shot with a potato gun and then the police arrested him or whatever for
I
shit.
remember
And
you talking about it, but I've definitely never seen it.
deep scour. It took Clifton a deep scour on the internet to find it, but it was like a show of like a cop drama from the 90s that like nobody remembers or some shit. But
Of
I just could have
course, if
sworn it was a
anyone
movie.
found it, it was Clifton, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one else was going to find that.
He found it quick too, and I was like, "How did you?" I typed in like the same shit he did on Google, and he still found it, and I
He's
didn't. I
got
don't
the
know.
gift, man. He's got the
Magic
gift of the
Google
Googles.
powers.
Yeah.
Yep. He knows what to do.
All right, man. We are right at about that time where I normally tell Jay to play us out. I'm going to give you the shot first. First of all, thank you for watching Bias Bro with special guest Huero Calero Colin Rigsby, not named
Hello.
after the
Goodbye.
show Regular Show. He's older than that. But tell the people where they can find you, where they can get more Colin.
I mean, that's my gamer name. You can find me pretty much on anything with that. It's also my Instagram. I'm a tattooer. You can find all my tattoos on Instagram under that name. And if you go to colinrigsby.com, you can see all my tattoos there and book with me if you are in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities area. So, but yeah, that's it pretty much.
And as a client of Colin, I can say the man does fantastic work, and he doesn't mind if you have terrible corn nut breath. So feel free to eat as many corn nuts as you want and breathe right in his face as he tattoos your chest. He loves it. He swears by it. He'd never do it any other way.
I
Yeah.
forgot about that until you mentioned it right now.
Oh, that's gonna stay with me forever, buddy.
Oh God, I can smell it now. Uh,
Chili picante. That's the ones you want to aim for.
I don't have to worry about it now because everyone's wearing masks,
That's
thankfully. But
fair.
thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it.
And for me, this is my network. I own this. You can find me. You can find me on 5dpodcast.com,
You can find him.
YouTube.tv. You can find me. Give me $5. What are you doing with your $5?
Do it now.
Me $5. 5dpodcast.com, twitch.tv/metagame network, youtube.com. They're not youtube.tv, and I think I've quoted it that way. They're not. youtube.com/5D podcast. The 5D podcast Monday nights at 7 o'clock at both of those addresses. And of course, Bias Bros, normally with Jay, Thursdays at 7 o'clock. And he has a website, I believe, jbarkersvoice.com, Facebook, Jay Barker's Voice, and he's on fucking TikTok, and I don't know his TikTok name, and I judge the shit out of him for being on TikTok because he's not a 13-year-old girl, but he's on there, and I guess his shit's funny because, like, he's got, like, 20,000 followers on TikTok, but I don't fucking TikTok, so there's that.
Well, maybe you should get on it. Then you could have 20,000 TikTok followers.
Nope. I had a coworker who recently left, and I was like, hey, I really liked working with you. Stay in contact. And she was like, yeah, it's great working with you. Are you on Instagram? And I just said, no, I'm not 13. And then she was like, yep, fair enough. And then that's where that conversation ended. All right.
Sick.
On that note, goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.